Welcome to a new series. This one is about basically any kind of I'm calling this series the topic series. Basically, this is basically give my view on certain things and, of course, give some theories of why these things basically are happening. Marvel announced that approximately 7 titles are ending next year: Guardians of the Galaxy, Luke Cage, Generation X, Hawkeye, Jean Grey, and Gwenpool, and let's see, Generation X, Hawkeye, Iceman, Jean Grey. Here's Hawkeye, Iceman, Jean Grey. Gwenpool, Luke Cage, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, in the case of Luke Cage, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Jean Grey, it's obvious because the book's not selling too well. I don't have a theory of why these books are ending, especially since all 3 books are really good. I think Gary Duggan himself has done a great job, basically, with Guardians of the Galaxy since he took over from Brian Michael Bendis, releasing the first issue of All New Guardians of the Galaxy this past May. I've never had a problem with his run, despite the fact he's had, besides having he doesn't have like regular arcs per se. He has like a 2-parter, then you have a standalone, stuff like that. It's basically something some people have wanted for some time, basically. Not big, overarching, big, epic stories. Just some small-scale stories, stuff like that. Maybe that could be the reasoning for the cancellation of Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know, but I like, basically, what Gary Duggan's been doing. Though the only thing I disagree was making Drax a pacifist. Yeah, there was no reasoning for that at all. Though in the story, they got kind of a reason. Apparently, he decided to kill slavers, and couldn't get a consequence behind that, so he's got to go pacifist. Turning Groot to a tree, to Groot, from the big Groot to little Groot, because the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. That's the only reason I can think of for that. Everyone else simply stayed the same, though they got new outfits. But the reasoning for it is probably, now I don't know what caused the cancel, why the book was not selling too well. I highly doubt it was because of the standalone issues. I highly doubted that. No. Jean Grey, my theory, the reason why Marvel's ending this comic book, because the adult Jean Grey is coming back, and they probably want to just keep the regular Jean Grey confined to one comic book. That's my personal guess. Though Dennis Hopeless himself has done a great job with the character, especially since he had been writing the character since All New X-Men. So he's been writing this character now for at least 2 years. Well, as of next year, he ran this character for 3 years now, so... Actually, no, he didn't write her in that title. Basically, yeah, he wrote just Jean Grey in their own solo book. But the guy himself is a good writer when it comes to writing female characters. But I honestly don't get why. Maybe it's because the whole thing of the Phoenix, or it could be the fact she just teams up with superheroes almost every issue. Though it's a great series, but I don't think the team-up thing is the problem, or the Phoenix thing is the problem. That's basically that's also what All New Wolverine did for its first arc. Basically, did team-up stuff, but it's still selling really well. In the case of Jean Grey, my guess is because of the whole thing with the Phoenix. Just my theory, anyways. In the case of Iceman, I think people are still bitter at Brian Michael Bendis for the past 2 years of revealing Iceman is gay. Yeah, I think that's the reason people were not buying the title, because Iceman is gay. Yeah, because the whole thing of Iceman being gay, that, in my personal theory, the reason people was not buying the book, because people hate that little factoid, and they want nothing to do with the gay Iceman. Despite the fact the book is actually really good. Yes. Does the writers, Stephen Grace, does she shove down our throats every single issue that Iceman's gay? No. Completely unnecessary. Hopefully, by the end of the series, basically, that Iceman's parents meet the young version himself. Yeah. Hawkeye. This one, I have no idea why Marvel's ending this book. Maybe it's not selling too well. That's the most obvious reason why, as why people are not buying it. I have no theory why. I mean, Kate Bishop is a popular character. I think because people are just thinking, oh, Hawkeye, it's Clint Barton. Nope, it's Kate Bishop. That could be the reason why, but at least it's downright. So yeah, this is basically all Kate Bishop. This is not Clint Barton. Yeah. Of course, that's my opinion when it comes to that. Generation X, and few people agree with me on this, The reason the book is probably not selling too well is because of the terrible interior artwork. Yeah, the interior artwork for this series is terrible. It is atrociously bad. I'm like, why in the world would Marvel allow this artist to still continue the book? I mean, this is the reason I feel as though this title is getting canceled, because the interior artwork is terrible, despite the fact the exterior artwork done by the Dodsons is fantastic. And I keep thinking, why don't the Dodsons do interior artwork anymore? Why in the world did it just suck doing freaking covers? I mean, it really makes no sense at all. The fact you have good artists like Terry and Rachel Dodson, Rachel as inker. It's kind of the same thing with Mike and Laura Aldred, where Mike Aldred is the artist and Laura Aldred is the inker. It's a similar relation. It's a similar thing with them. I'm like, why can't these two do interiors anymore? Why can't they do the interior of the book? Or I don't know. How about the original series artist as the interior? How about bring back Chris Bachalo? At least he know how to do the title basically really well. I mean, after all, he basically created the original version of Generation X back in the 90s. Ask him to do the interior artwork. He at least basically is a better artist than this piece of crap of an artist. Yeah, that's just my opinion anyways. In the case of Gwenpool being cancelled, my personal guess, she has been losing her popularity the past year. Her popularity, in my opinion, has gone downhill. That is one reason why. Another is because the whole thing of basically about, I've heard that the character is based upon the book's editor. I'm like, that's odd. Why in the world would you base the personality of a character on the editor? The book itself is fine. I have no problem with the book at all. I've never found an issue to be terrible. I mean, the most recent thing that came out was basically her fighting the Iron Man Doctor Doom, which I found to be interesting. And plus, also, she met Deadpool in the series, which I thought was great. Though I kept thinking, though, maybe they would end the series last year, because the fact that by the time series issue 12, I kind of felt as though they kind of wrapped up the storyline for the series, but they probably just kept it going. That's probably what people dropped off from the top, because they probably thought by issue 12 that the story was over, and they probably didn't know the fact the book was still coming out. As a matter of fact, despite the fact the book itself has nothing really much to do with Deadpool, the book itself, I think, was never promoted at all, and I think people were just surprised the book was still even coming out. Kind of like the same thing with Silver Surfer, where nobody knew this book was still coming out because Dan Slott didn't promote it at all, despite his claim that he promoted it 4 times in Amazing Spider-Man. I've read every single issue of Amazing Spider-Man that he has done, and I have no idea what he's talking about. He could have promoted it by, I don't know, having the Silver Surfer actually appear in the comic book, like, read more of Silver Surfer, read his comic book. It's that simple. But I guess Marvel doesn't want to do that when it comes to Slott and Spider-Man, because Spider-Man, apparently this one is unaffected by everything else. Basically, it happens basically in the Marvel Universe. Yep. Okay. Though it has not been confirmed yet if Secret Warriors and Defenders are ending. I don't think these two titles should end. Why? They're both really good. They got good interior artwork. Matthew Rosenberg, who was the writer of Secret Warriors, is doing a great job with the title, and it kind of feels like a good place for the home for the newer Inhumans, people like Inferno, Moon Girl, Miss Marvel. It's basically another book for Miss Marvel featured aside from Miss Marvel and Champions. And I am so happy Mark Waid confirmed the fact that Champions is not being axed next year. Thank you, God, for that, because Champions is a damn good title. And I do not personally want that title to end in any way, shape, or form. Why am I not buying these titles? I can't afford it. That's simply the reasoning for why I'm not buying this. The Spy titles are really good. I have heard also America's being canceled. So I haven't seen this article, but that title has been confirmed to be canceled. It's actually ending probably with the next issue, because that's the way it looks with the cover by the next issue. I do agree with the reasoning for it. The series is terrible. The first arc was bad, and I don't know why that the series was so good. Now the most recent arc they did, where it featured Electrix, I think I'd say pronounce her name. Yeah, she was a character created by Grant Morrison, which a lot of people don't know that at all. Yeah, she's one of those many characters created by Grant Morrison for Marvel. I mean, when people think of Grant Morrison's run for Marvel, What book do people think of a lot of the time when people think of his work for Marvel? People think of New X-Men. People don't think of Marvel Boy and all, despite the fact that was the only title he worked on at Marvel. Yeah, he created the Cosmic Man. Basically, he created the Electrix. He created her and her father, who were basically these two were basically the main villains of Original Sin. Yeah, basically villains that people probably never heard of before, and yet this arc, this 3-part arc, was probably the most interesting thing that the series has done. Though I think the series is ending really soon. Yeah, but some of these titles I personally feel this option ending, especially like Guardians, especially with the success of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and plus also the series had just resumed its nostalgic numbering. It just came back to that just a few months ago. Yeah, the most recent issue that came out was actually issue 149. Yeah, I had really wanted this title. Basically, it's one of those like all the titles on Marvel I want to see go back to its nostalgic numbering, and this title basically was one of them. I was so happy with that, but it seems so stupid though that 4 issues after that basically they go back to nostalgic numbering, the series just ends. Yeah, it seems so stupid. Oh yeah, and they're ending it. Get this, and they're replacing it with Infinity Countdown. Yes, Infinity Countdown. What's Infinity Countdown? Well, how should I put this? Infinity Countdown is a promotion for Avengers Infinity War, which is coming out next year. Yep. But, yeah, these are my opinions. Basically, this is basically my theories of why these 7 titles are getting canceled. These are just my theories. At least my reasoning for these titles are in there, okay? But, yeah, as when I do another episode for this series, I don't know when. But I think in the case of these titles, I think canceling Guardians, that was a mistake. Luke Cage, I can kind of understand because I read an article that the reasoning that Marvel's in this title because this title has got the worst sales out of all the titles of Marvel. So I can let that slide, despite the fact it's a good title. Yep, I'm glad also Iron Fist not getting canceled because Ed Bronson's doing a great job with the book. And Mike Perkins, his artwork is still fantastic when it comes to this book. Yep. But also, I think Generation X, I think instead of canceling the book, what could help the sales is change the artist. Yes, I think Marvel should either have one of these 3 or 4 artists. You should have Chris Botchlow do the book. You can have Terry Dodson. You can have Mark Bagley do the book. Or, I don't know, maybe you could do Alberto Ramos, at least he's a better artist than this piece of crap of an artist. Oh, I don't know. How about John Cassidy? The guy has done a Marvel book, and I think the last Marvel book he did was an issue of Captain America last year. But you could ask him to do it. He is an X-Men artist. You can ask him to do it. Or I don't know. How about one of the other artists from that did Astonishing X-Men? How about the artist from Marjorie Liu's run? Yeah, ask one of those artists. Or the artist who did the Crystal's Gauge issues. That artist was really good as well. But that's just my opinion when it comes to it. Okay? But if you want to basically list your opinions of the reasoning you think that the reason why these titles are getting canceled, feel free to do a response video or list them down in the comments below. Okay? Be sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Okay? Until I see you all in my next video. Bye.